Hello from Manila. This is Philip Abadisio, the lifestyle guy. I was a lifestyle writer for a daily newspaper and for some magazines. I'm a lifestyle PR and publicist handling some of the most exclusive and awe-inspiring brands. This led me to hosting a lifestyle program on TV5. I also have an arts and events column with the same name, Philip the Lifestyle Guy in Art Plus magazine. So, what is lifestyle and what does Philip want to experience for you? It's about amazing design, it's delicious food, it's luxurious fashion, it's glamorous events, and it's glorious arts of every kind. And of course, it's how we can enrich each other's lives. Join me in this journey and let's explore various lifestyles. And remember, for as long as it's in good style, it will never die. So how do we start? Wow! Kasama po kayo sa amin. Let's go! Talaga, mama mo kasi yun eh. So very properly British. Ken and Isa Mishuku can't help but beam with pride as they present their new showroom, workstation, office space, private cafe, and warehouse in Binyan, Laguna. The new area is called MCM Play and is constantly undergoing renovation. They excitedly talk about how they envision placing their mid-century tables, chairs, cabinets, lamps, credenzas, and more. These items continue to grow in number, just like their followers in social media have grown exponentially. Top of mind, who are the mid-century modern designers who've influenced you the most?
It's difficult to pinpoint just a handful of designers kasi, in the journey of collecting, your taste changes over time. So parang there's so many different designers from the mid-century modern era that I think have affected us in our tastes and our aesthetics. Pero siguro one very important design duo, of course, is Charles and Ray. I mean, that really started off everything for us. It started with that one dubious Eames lounge chair. It started this obsession to learn more. So Charles and Ray would be.
And back then, kasi when this started, the MCM is pretty new in the industry in the Philippines. So when this started around 8 years ago, when we started looking into furniture, most of the pieces that you'll come across in magazines or in television, or even when you search online, mabagal pa yung internet that time, is really the duo Charles and Ray Eames. And that also at the same time, I'd say they really influenced us a bit because these were the first pieces that we collected when we were starting off.
What do you have to say to doomsday prophets who predict that mid-century modern design is a fad and like all fads, it will pass?
In terms of trends, there's some truth to that trends come and go, no? And it's cyclical. So parang what was uso in the time of the 50s and 60s is coming back now, but in a different way. I think we're no longer designing an entire space that is one look, like just all Space Age Jetsons or just all Eames.
But ako, if I could try to explain further, there's truth to it. There are some pieces that will no longer be as coveted as when we were starting out. Mainly because the trend is always, this is driven by collectors or the passionate individuals who are into these pieces. No, when things start to swell up or more pieces come into, people start to veer away and look for something that's more rare or sought after. And I think this is what's going to direct the trend towards a certain. I'm seeing a shift of. It's funny when I sit with collectors and we discuss about furniture.
Okay, how about this? Some argue that mid-century modern was largely influenced by the American architect Frank Lloyd Wright, but others insist it started with the German Bauhaus School of Design. What's your take?
Well, okay, it's really hard to say where it all started, no? But ako, if you ask me, where did it all start? I would say it started with Michael Thonet. In the early 1800s, when all the furniture pieces, in fact, I read somewhere that a chair was supposed to be for royalty lang, that furniture was made, it was not for the common man. And Michael Thonet came about with his designs. He thought of bending wood to create, and then modular siya that it could be shipped out. It was such a phenomenal design that I feel you will see most of the designs that come out, even the Bauhaus has a great influence towards Michael Thonet.
So now this is for all of you watching. We'll ask for some advice. If we were to start a collection, which pieces should we begin with, and that will most likely encourage us to collect more?
My suggestion or my advice would always be look for something that brings joy. I mean, corny siya, it's a cliche. But find a piece that resonates with you, something that you want to put in a specific area. I always say this, so I'll always start off by answering a need. Okay, let's say if you're in your bathroom and you need a place where you tie your shoes in it, then look for a stool. In the process of looking for a stool, then you start looking for options. Don't get the first stool that you see. Then you start looking into what fits your style. What is the height that you're looking for? Does it get wet? You need it to be a steel legs. Start off with that, and then from there, you start selecting. Strip down your options. So the way I see it, design is not only meant for the rich. It's for those with a discerning taste that could see beauty through an ordinary object. I came across this Senufo stool. Siguro 6 years ago, when you see something like that, similar to that one, Philip, you wouldn't even look at it. But now in all the magazines, you'd be seeing it. And now I'm thinking, okay, etong mga stools na to, they look similar to what are the mga bulol na. And this is something I'm like thinking, okay, maybe very primitive.
Where are they from?
From Africa.
If you only had a certain amount of money to buy a mid-century modern item, what would it be for 10,000?
10,000.
I have an idea.
Oh, sige, go.
I would say the Alexander Girard dolls.
Okay.
Doll?
Yeah, they're wooden dolls, hand painted, designed by Alexander Girard, who worked closely with Charles and Ray. In the 50s, they collaborated a lot together, and these dolls are a good representation of the whimsical design that they came up with. It's very playful, but at the same time, when you look at it closely, it's well designed. It's something that's been around for decades, and you can still appreciate it today.
Okay, what about for 25,000?
25,000, there's now more choices. No? I always say, I know even if, is always get your hands dirty, buy a Charles and Ray Eames piece.
For 25,000?
Yes, use Charles and Ray Eames piece. I have one that's around 17,000. Because once you get the feel of it, you'll understand more about what mid-century modern is. What kinds of materials are used, the functionality, how it conforms to your body, the durability of the piece. They always made things for, made it affordable for
the best, for the most, for the least.
Yes, and you will see it in the products that they have.
Okay, I'll do that. For 100,000 now.
For 100,000 now.
A credenza, a cabinet.
Well, again, it has to go back to filling a need. I can tell you buy a nice lounge chair, but if you're not the type of person to, or there is now a bigger since you have a budget where if you need a credenza, you need to.
So now you can buy a table with chairs, like a dining table.
Yeah. It depends on your needs. Kasi if you are presented with a 100,000 chair table and that's not what you're looking for, then it doesn't make sense again. So again, it fills a need. So if you tell me if I had 100,000 and I'm looking for a nice chair to sit on or lounge on, then I can give you a more precise, a better picture. But my idea is, again, try to look for something that suits you, that is you. If you're a leather type of person, buy something that has leather on it.
I guess for you to be able to answer the questions more specifically, it has to be more personal. So maybe if you had 100,000, right? I mean, I'm sure you have, But you know, like 100,000 to shop right now, what would you get?
Kasi if you go to our house, we're overflowing them with chairs. If you
We
go
have
to
to
our
be very, very thoughtful now of what we
MCM
add.
play, there's tons of chairs now. So if you ask me what would I be, wow, that's a very difficult question, Philip.
What would you get if sky's the limit?
So one would be the limited edition. For some reason, I'm so drawn to the John Provey Virgil Abloh pieces, which is on display now. It's not for everyone. Some say it's not furniture. Some say it's more an artwork. But if it brings joy, it makes me question why he did it, and that's why I like it. Whenever I see it, it doesn't make sense to me. Why would someone paint their chair powder blue? And by seeing it, you don't even want to sit on it. You just want to look at it, and that's one of those things that I want to get my hands dirty with it by having one in the collection, I guess. Because most of the pieces we have at home, we sit on it, we let our dogs jump on it because that's what it was made for. But it's one of those pieces that I'm intrigued because it's one of those chairs that I wouldn't want to sit on. So I guess that's, again, these are things that, it's the weird ones that catch your eyes. And yeah, that's my thing.
There's no slowing down Midcentury Manila as the authority when it comes to mid-century modern furniture, all due to the couple's tireless dedication in sharing their passion to a community of like-minded individuals. And with a deep trove of treasured pieces around the world yet to be discovered, it's safe to say that Ken, Isa, and MCM Play have only just begun to scratch the surface. Please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. Clicking the like button and leaving a comment will be very much appreciated. You may also want to follow and like our social media accounts. Many thanks. I really appreciate that you've shared your time and spent it with me for this lifestyle experience. I had a great time and I'm looking forward to our next journey in stylish encounters. And always remember that if it's in good style, then it will never die. Goodbye for now and take care.